Let's go.
Rise and shine, it's a brand new day. Ken can take the stage, ready to play. Weekdays at 10, the cars and the scene. Coffee in hand, they're living the dream. Question in the voice, got the whole town awake. Bringing fire to the mic, make no mistake. Shows in the corner, spitting out facts. Dropping truth bombs, ain't holding back. Ken in the morning, feel the heat. From 10 a.m. CST, can take a seat. We live and love that break in the mind. Light up your speakers, crank up the sound. They're talking about life upside down. Opinions exploding like a sonic blast. In the studio, they're built to last. With passion and grit, they engage and ignite. Every single week, their foes can't fight. From sports to politics,
This is a Huddle Sports Network broadcast. You can find us on Roku TV, Amazon Fire TV, Facebook, and of course YouTube. Get all your NFL news here first.
Good morning. Welcome to another edition of Ken and Ken in the Morning. I'm Ken. That's Ken. And that's Joe. And this is Fred. Good morning, Fred. I knew I'd get Ken on that one. How you doing this morning, Ken?
Oh, not too bad. I'm breathing, so I can't bitch.
Joe, traffic light this morning? I guess traffic's really light. Is the traffic light this morning?
Yeah, I don't really have traffic. It's just taking my daughters to school. They go to school less than a mile from my house, so they're about a mile roughly.
Yeah, so back in my day, I had to walk a mile each way to school uphill in the snow with no boots on.
Yeah.
Oh wait, you're in California.
Exactly.
So, hey, Aaron Rodgers might sign a contract to come back for another year. Did you hear that news this morning?
That'd be the worst thing that could happen for the Steelers, at least.
Schefter's reported that there's mutual interest in coming back for one more year, which kind of, for me, makes sense. And I'll explain why. Because Aaron Rodgers sucks and the Steelers suck and their head coach sucks, but they want to give him one more year before he retires. So why not let Rodgers and Tomlin retire together? And then tear it down and start fresh.
Or, no, Aaron Rodgers wouldn't allow it. I don't know if he has I don't know if his ego would allow it, but you keep him for one more year as so that you can draft a quarterback this year and get a year of building up your new quarterback. But
you could do that.
I know that Aaron worked with Jordan Love, but I just don't know if Aaron would be, in his last year, if he's going to want to do that, or he's going to want to start.
Did he though? Because reports at first, when that first year was, he barely would say two words to Love, and then all of a sudden when he left, they were best friends. That wasn't the reports when he was in Green Bay, right? So, you know how Green Bay likes to revisit and rewrite history. I don't know. Look, they got destroyed last night. Take a clue. You know what I mean? Lucky they got in, to be honest. Look, it's not the worst thing in the world, I guess, if Rodgers signs another year. But the discount double checkers and other guys sit on the couch watching playoffs. And look, in his career, if he were to retire, he has just as many NFC Championship games as Rex Grossman. Now, he's got a few more MVPs than Rex does. And he's going to go to the Hall of Fame. But, the last couple years of his career, he probably should have retired when he left Green Bay. Just saying. He hasn't done his life any favors.
Was there anything that he did last night that makes you think he's got another year in him?
There's nothing he did almost all season that makes me think he has another
Exactly.
year left.
That's point taken.
But I'm like, if they're going to keep Tomlin around for another year, why not get a new head coach and a new quarterback at the same time?
Yeah, I get the thinking, but you're just basically you're kicking the can down the road on your rebuild by a year.
You almost have no choice though because of where they're going to be picking in the draft. Are they going to be able to get a quarterback? Would be the first question. The second question is it going to be all right? Not every unless you get that number one guy, right? That's then the head coach more times than not wants his quarterback, right? We've heard that argument over and over again. Well, Fields is going to be gone because he's not Eberflus's guy. Oh, well, Trubisky's going to be gone because he's not Nagy's guy. Oh, well, so every time you're going to hear that. Oh, if the quarterback's been there for a year and then a new head coach. Oh, well, if there's any problems ever, which there always is. Oh, well, the head coach. So are you really? Or is it better to start off, get your head coach, get your quarterback at the same time? This way you can't have those. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. This is gonna sound cynical, but
It's not going to sound cynical.
No, it's not.
Sounds like dead air, man.
next year
I mean,
they're gonna be even worse
You gotta
than this year.
Joe, you
Hey.
got to repeat everything. You
yeah,
froze.
you froze.
Oh, I said this is gonna sound really cynical, but there's a good chance that they're thinking we know we're not gonna renew Tomlin's contract, right? And if we roll Aaron Rodgers out there next year, there's a really good chance that we're going to be even worse than this year. So we might actually finish in that top 10 where we can draft a quarterback.
And that's probably the better argument, or the more realistic argument. Because, look at, and by the way, another vacancy where you wouldn't have this problem would be Green Bay, right? If LaFleur would have gotten fired, which now it looks like they're going to try to extend him.
Mhm.
So if LaFleur was going to get fired, you'd have coaches who'd be like, I want to coach Jordan Love. And that's why they would go there. You wouldn't have that my guy. That's
Yep.
the thing, kind of like Ben Johnson with Caleb. Why did Ben Johnson want to get to Chicago so fast? He wanted to coach Caleb Williams, right? So you get that scenario with quarterbacks. And the other scenario is not my guy. So if Tomlin's going to be there for one more year and they're going to do the swan song retirement thing, like a lot of people have said, and I've kind of said as well, it's like, okay, it makes sense. Now they can both ride off in the sunset. They can do the big farewell tour next year in the NFL, and then the Steelers can start fresh. So it makes sense. Ooh, I didn't hear this one. I hadn't heard that Kevin Shepard was looking. Is he looking for jobs, Bill, or are people asking to speak to him? That's a good question there. So, you get that scenario with quarterbacks. And honestly, it looks like LaFleur is staying for at least an extension, which may or may not be what gets. Well, Goody's not doing it. Policy's doing it, right? Policy's the guy who's making the decision on the head coach. So, we'll have to see what's going on there with Green Bay. Seriously, who would want to go to Green Bay? Dude, anyone would want to go to Green Bay. That's the head coach. Right? If you not anyone, but there are enough coaches out there who'd want to coach Jordan Love.
Yeah.
Okay, Miami reached out to speak to him out because he's getting looked at. That'd be,
Yeah,
man,
Fred,
if they lose
Fred,
another coordinator in Detroit this year. Whew.
Fred, this is not a good take, Fred. There's lots of people that would like to coach in Green Bay, and I wonder what you mean by they won't be able to get their guy for 2 years. Are you saying to replace Jordan Love?
Well, there are Packer fans who are like
That are
55
fucking
million.
moronic and are sitting there saying, "Oh, Malik Willis should have started that." Fucking Jordan Love had an outstanding playoff game, threw for 300 something yards, 4 touchdowns, no interceptions, and you want to replace that? Are you?
Yep. Because he didn't get a W because he lost 2 out of 3 games to the Bears this year. That's why. That's the only
that's
reason why. Let's be honest.
That
Let's be
is
real,
fucking
that's
ridiculous.
But let's be real though, Ken. That's what drives that train.
I know exactly what drives that train. I also know the conductor of that train bounces his head off the side wall every 30 seconds.
But I mean, well, and look at. I'm not advocating for Jordan Love to be gone. But not that I wouldn't mind seeing that happen. But I mean, look at the Matt LaFleur Jordan Love era has netted 0 NFC North championships. It's netted 1 playoff win.
And that's not acceptable.
But I gotta just throw this out there, dude. Like the Jordan Love, as far as for reasons that they lost that game to the Bears, Jordan Love is so far down the fucking list, dude.
No, I know.
On this particular one, like he's had his, believe me, he's had his moments where he has thrown away some games, but that one was not it. Like he was damn near statistically perfect, and he got let down.
Though, you're talking about fans who live in an echo chamber bubble of the rest of their fandom, and well, we didn't lose, so who do I blame? The head coach and the quarterback are the easiest 2 people to blame. Well, you can't go to the defense, but that's too big of an entity. Let me narrow it down to the guys who get all the credit when we win, and that's it. Because look, when you win, it's your quarterback and your head coach are brilliant. When you lose, they suck. I mean, even if it's not their fault, it's their fault. I mean, that's just territory of the job, right?
And my reaction right after the game was about getting rid of LaFleur and all that. But listening to the way that these players talked about him, especially Jordan and Micah, it gives me a lot more hope that this is something that can get fixed. But unfortunately, even LaFleur said it. It looks like Hafley is going to be gone. So we are now going to have to get a new defensive coordinator on top of it, and we need to get a new special teams coordinator.
So the special teams coordinator, that's an interesting one. Because people say, well, why is Richard Hightower still in Chicago? The guy's been here since like John Fox, I think. Or maybe right after John Fox. Right? I mean, special teams coordinators, good ones, are hard to find. And if you look at every team, they are roller coasters.
Ours isn't a roller coaster. It's just constantly been in the fucking bottom third of the league every year he's been there, and that's been the issue. And we constantly are having special teams gaffes. Wait,
I mean, you also got to remember with special teams coaches, what are they left with? The bottom of the barrel of the roster.
Ben, I'm not going to let you do my man Rich like that. The first year that he became your special teams coach, your special teams was ranked number 1 in the league, was it not?
No, it wasn't. It was ranked 21st in the league.
No.
Hold on.
Let him look it up.
Pull it up because I'm pretty sure he had 1 year where you guys were like, I thought it was number 1, but at least top 5.
That's got to be the hardest coaching position of the positions to fill, because look, as a special teams coach, what's in your direct control? The long snapper, the place kicker, and the punter. After that, maybe the return guy if you're lucky, right? You'll get to pick that guy or draft that guy or have that guy only to yourself. Otherwise, you're just getting whoever the DC and OC says you can have for coverage teams, right? You don't get to decide. I mean, you get to decide who your gunner is after you're told, well, these are the guys you have to work with. You don't get, in most cases, they're not given the, hey, I really want to go sign this guy because he's a great gunner. Nope, doesn't happen.
No, you got to, as a special teams coach, you got to finesse your defensive coordinator and your offensive coordinator and say, like, when it's draft time, you got to say, like, hey, I really like this guy for your defense, but it's like what you really like is that he's a really good gunner, and you just don't tell him that.
Well, in 22, Bisaccia's first year as Green Bay special teams coordinator, the Green Bay Packers ranked 22nd in special teams.
Mm-hmm. What about after that?
Okay, hold on.
We could go year by year. It's only 4 years, right?
Yeah. Okay. Hold on. Let me get a different fucking thing because this one's trying to give all the special teams gaps.
Let's add some context to that, because before Rich Bisaccia became your special teams coach, the Packers were 32 in special teams, were they not?
No, before he came in, yes, in 21 we were 32nd.
So he brought you up 11 spots or 10 spots.
Look, It's a hard coaching position to fill.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
so, I mean,
If
it's
he
like,
could have stayed around that,
because like even with I mean, okay, well the kicker is part of special teams, and McManus, who is not a bad NFL kicker, had a very bad game in Chicago, which is a very hard place to kick in. It's like Bears fans, look at even myself last year were saying, hey, we might need to start looking at getting rid of Cairo Santos. But I'll tell you what, at the end of the year in windy conditions, the dude's been money in Chicago. Like he's been money. And it's like, okay, I get why we stick with him, because you go to the first Bears Packers game in Chicago with that win. And you saw how he was. McManus kicked really well in that game too. Don't forget, that was a tough game to kick in, and both those guys kicked really well. But Santos, like, dude, you're kicking in one of the hardest places in the NFL, and in bad weather, he's making 45, 48 yarders, which other guys are missing from 38 because of the wind and stuff. So, McManus had a bad game, no doubt about it. I don't know about special teams coach. I mean, Green Bay may say we need a new one. Fine, go get a new one. Good luck finding a good one. They're hard to find because it's a very niche. You want to talk about a niche coaching area.
It wasn't just this game though. McManus has been having bad games throughout, like ever since his injury.
That's fine. That's a kicker issue, not that might be a kicker issue. Not I need to replace my special.
Well, the special teams 23 the year after was ranked 28th. The next year was 32nd, and this year is 30th.
Look,
the reason why these guys keep their jobs so long is it's hard to find them. I mean, it's a very niche coaching.
I think the thing with Rich is he didn't know how to adapt to the new kickoff formation. You know what I mean? Like he's used to the old ways of, the long drive, you know what I mean? Rush, and then he didn't adapt to the new way of doing it. That's probably what's like the hinder that's going on right now.
And there's the first really, well, not the first, the second Dornism. The day we just shake your head with Dorn. Are you Dorn?
Hold on.
Jacobs was a Raider, right?
Yeah, I was gonna say Josh Jacobs is damn good, and Keyshawn Nixon, as much as he's been burnt toast, sometimes he's also been spectacular at other times.
And let's not forget Rasul Douglas.
Yeah. Well,
who turned into all pro for you guys, even though he sucked for us. He got cut off our practice squad, and you guys turned him into a player. Come on, man.
The thing I love about the secondary is people forget with the secondary. Sometimes oh my God, look how bad my guy's getting burned. Well, what kind of coverage are they in? Well, I don't know, but he got burned. Oh, so you're not saying it was a zone coverage where the pass was thrown in the soft spot in the zone. Well, but he should have gotten that. Not if he was playing zone. Sometimes the offense does things right, because when we're on offense and we make those plays, we don't talk about, well, sometimes we do. We'll say, oh, look, we burned that guy. No, we just put the ball where we were supposed to put it in the zone, like the soft spot. We found it. We whatever. I mean, it's not always the DBs, but it is the DBs a lot. Still.
I just want to say something to the Green Bay fans that are calling for Jordan Love's head as well. Why is nobody cooking Javon Bullard's ass after he got cooked by DJ Moore? I don't hear anybody saying Javon Bullard's got to go, but why does Jordan Love got to go? That to me is crazy, dude.
Those fans are morons.
How about we start with Javon Bullard and then work our way up? You know what I mean?
The thing is, with Bullard is he's actually developed into a decent slot corner, and he has made progress from last year. But yes, he still didn't get absolutely fucking cooked.
Yeah.
I mean, even Jalen Johnson gets burned. Right. And he's regarded as one of the better corners in the league. So guys will get burned that are good because receivers are good too. Sometimes the other guy makes a play.
Yeah, everybody gets paid in the NFL. I wasn't saying that to you should get rid of Javon Bullard. I'm making a point. Why don't we start with the guy that got cooked and then work our way up to the guy who had 4 touchdowns and no interceptions and over 300 yards?
Those fans are moron that are blaming Jordan Love. Jordan Love did absolutely everything to win that game. Even in the fourth quarter when he was dropping dimes on the players' hands and they were dropping everything, what Jordan Love's supposed to do? Catch it for him? You know what I mean?
Here's the question. We'll have to get into this when the season's over. Because remember, at the beginning of the year, we were saying this was Jordan Love's prove-it year. Is he worth $55 million? That's something I think everyone needs to, think about it for a couple weeks, and after the Super Bowl's over, we'll start saying, "Hey, was this guy worth 55 million?" And it should be an interesting conversation because I think some people will say no, some people will say yeah, and some people will still be undecided. I mean, you know, Packers, interesting season for sure. Um, Interesting season. Bill is really trying to push this narrative in the chat about this weekend. We're going to get to this weekend, Bill. Chill out. We'll get there, man. It's okay.
Yeah. I wonder that myself too there, Ronald. Why did we play him one snap? His one snap was a damn good snap.
Hey, I want to know why Keyshawn Nixon needs his ass beat. I'm curious about that. Like, somebody in the chat said Keyshawn Nixon needs his ass beat. I don't know why.
Because he keeps committing stupid ass penalties for absolutely no reason other than he can't keep himself in check. He's getting at least one a game. There's a couple he's had multiple. Like,
well,
dude,
he won't be getting any this week.
Hopefully he won't be getting any next year because I wouldn't mind him off the team.
So look at with last night's game, where the Texans are that good, or were the Steelers just that?
I think the Steelers' offensive line was absolutely terrible, combined with the Texans being that good. With the Steelers' offensive line, if it was a regular defense, they would have gave some shit up, but they would have been able to at least keep some protection. With how bad that offensive line was, we got to see what happens when you let a bunch of inmates beat up an elderly old man. Because holy shit, did Aaron Rodgers look like Grandpa getting the shit kicked out of him? And it was definitely weird seeing that from an Aaron Rodgers game in the playoffs.
To me, it's both, right? Like, but I'm not going to say the Texans are that good. I'm going to say they have an elite unit on defense. Like, that defense is, I'm not going to call them the 2000 Ravens or anything like that, but they're one of the better defenses I've seen in the last 5 or 10 years. Like, they're a really good defense, and it's, it makes it a lot easier for your offense when your defense is constantly turning the ball over for you and getting sacks and pressures, and it makes your job a little easier. So I actually think the Texans have a shot to go and beat New England. Like, with that defense, I think they really do.
I was wrong about Danielle Hunter. Danielle Hunter, I thought that neck injury was going to keep him out, but then he's having a hell of a year.
So we've got 4 games left, right? Well, next week, 4 games. Interesting thing with, I don't get, once again, the NFL. And first off, it sucks that, well, at least the Texans are playing Sunday and not Saturday. They didn't get totally hosed, even though they get the shorter week than the Pats did by a day, but still. Everything's a advantage, disadvantage in this league. Here's what I don't get. Saturday's games are at 3:30 and 7 p.m. Central. Okay, that's not so bad. That's like an afternoon, and then 7 is a little late though. What time? Well, Sunday night football. That's about Sunday night football time. Okay, that makes a little bit of sense, I guess. Saturday, 2 p.m. and 5:30. I mean, a 2 p.m. start is just a weird time, isn't it?
No, for Sunday, that's what it is.
I mean, yeah. So Sunday wouldn't you like, if you're gonna do 3:30 and 7 on Saturday, do 3:30 and 7 on Sunday. Like, keep it kind of normal.
I think it's their way of trying to keep to the usual Sunday schedule as much.
But it's not.
I get you.
I think they're working around other sports networks. That's probably what's going on. You know what I mean?
The NFL, other sports networks work around them, right? I mean, it's just weird. A 5:30 start on a Sunday for the Bears-Rams game is just a weird kind of start time. Like 7 o'clock? Yeah, I can see that. That's like Sunday Night Football in America time. Okay, cool. That makes sense. But 5:30?
Like, I have all the apps to watch, all the games, but I kind of feel for the people that have to buy these apps to watch some of the games. You know what I mean?
Well, that's why you get an IPTV. But yeah, I watched all the games on FanDuel Network out of Canada this week, which is actually kind of cool.
Nice.
I got to see a different perspective, right? From usually I watch the hometown feed, I'll watch Fox 32 for the Bears in Chicago, or I'll watch Green Bay's local Fox when I'm just watching a Green Bay game or whatever. You get the local flair commercials and whatnot. Kind of cool, but it was interesting because at halftime they do their own little show, and then they cut back to Fox's show or whatever. So it's kind of cool to get the Canadian spin and take.
Is it Moose's dancing?
Yeah, it's definitely Moose.
No, drinking
it's-
syrup?
You get a lot of
No, they're
Shorzy-
not
a
drinking.
lot of commercials, but you get a lot of Shorzy commercials.
Oh,
If you like Shorzy, you get a lot of cool commercials, right?
yeah?
Yeah, I mean, look at this week. We had one blowout, really, right? Last night was really the one blowout. Not that the Pats game was close, but at least it was a good game for a while. Is the AFC? I think the NFC is wide open. Most people tell you, hey, the NFC is pretty wide open as far as who's going to emerge out of the 4 teams of the Super Bowl. Is the AFC a little bit more like, hey, there's 1 or 2 dominant teams, and our 2 teams are just lucky to be there?
Mm-mm.
No, but I'll say this: if any chance to win it all, that this is the Bills' final chance. They have no Mahomes to deal with. They have no Lamar Jackson to deal with. They have no Burrow to deal with. There's no excuses anymore for Josh Allen and
they
the
got
Bills.
the young guys, right? They got.
Yeah.
I mean, you got Bo Nix, young guy. Drake
Mhm.
May, young guy.
Yeah,
The dude in Texas, young guy.
yeah.
And look at the NFC, same thing. Brock Purdy, relatively young guy. He's like, okay, you got the old guy with Stafford. Then you've got 2. Well, has Purdy been in the league? No, Ginger Jesus has been here maybe a year
He's been-
longer.
He's been a couple years longer than Purdy.
So those 2 guys, like maybe they're not the young guy, they're more the Josh Allen year group ish, and then you got the young guy, of course, in Caleb. So in the AFC, you got 3 young guys, guys who have only been in the league for like now 3 years. And on the NFC side, all these quarterbacks, for the most part, have at least 4 or 5 years in, and then you got Caleb too. So
Yeah, you bring up a good point. A lot of young QBs in this playoffs.
we're seeing another changing of the guard, is what we're seeing to a certain degree.
New era.
I wouldn't say it's a full change of the guard, because you're right. You still got a Mahomes, you still got Lamar out there. They're still going to have good years, but you're seeing that next crop. That next crop of quarterback, because we've lost a lot of the older guys too, have retired, and so it's the normal situation that we're in. I don't know if it's his last shot, because quarterbacks tend to stick around for a long time. Like, I think he'll sit through a whole full rebuild in Buffalo before he's done and build back up. I mean, quarterbacks have a longer life cycle than a Super Bowl window. They can get a good quarterback and get 2 or 3 windows in his career.
Yep.
Yeah, but I don't know, because everybody's gonna retool and everything. You know what I mean? Not to say the Bills won't, but
I don't know. I don't know. I wish Jamie was on, because Jamie could tell us about their roster as far as where they're going to be at, because they've got a good fusion of youth and old, and they're going to lose some old, but I don't think this is his last shot, even with this current team, because I don't think they're hurting for money right now. They've been able to make moves at the deadline.
They're a little close money wise, but not to where they can't make moves. Pretty much, from what I know of the Bills, because I've watched every game and I'm a little tapped in, is that their secondary is real good. They are possibly going to have to replace one of their corners, though, and they need
wide receivers.
they need a lot of depth for their corners. They need defensive line help, and they need a star wide receiver.
And Gabe Davis tore his ACL. Keon Coleman, he's not really the guy. Yeah, he's not really the guy.
Keon Coleman, he's had a rough sophomore year. I mean, it's been slumpish,
He had a
but
good
he's had
rookie year.
moments. He's had moments. So, I mean, I wouldn't write him off yet. It's at least
Yeah,
3
it's a
years.
sophomore
I liked him
slump,
coming out
dude.
of the draft, but
I loved him coming out of the his press conference was the best.
I think it's just a sophomore slump, man. Like, give him one more year. Next year, if he comes back to the middle of where he was, his rookie year, then, or even better than his rookie year, then the jury's still out on him.
Yep.
I don't necessarily agree that it's Josh Allen's last chance, but I do think it's his absolute best chance.
Yes.
Yeah,
It is,
that's
think
what I
it's-
try to word it as. Like,
But
you know,
I
his
mean, like, and I get where Isaac
easiest
was
path
worried.
for him.
I get where
Mhm.
Isaac was worried. He's like, okay, all the old monkeys are gone, but now there's new monkeys. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Like the old monkeys are off your back, but guess what? Now there's 3 new monkeys on your back, and they're a lot more energetic than the old monkeys were. So I don't know if that's like you know. I mean, by saying that, we're almost saying that, oh, Bo Nix, Drake May are nothing compared to Lamar and these other guys, and that's not necessarily the case. I mean, look at people are saying Drake May should be the MVP.
Yeah, he
You know
played
what
a
I'm
hell
saying?
of a
I mean,
year.
I agree with that.
Yep.
I just don't
Stroud
think,
has
I just don't think
moments.
he's ready to win a Super Bowl yet. I think that
No.
that's a
When are
very
you-
young
when are you
that's a
ever
young
ready to win a
team
Super Bowl?
because
I mean-
it's a young team. They don't have a lot of playoff experience, and going up against the Josh Allen in the playoffs is not the same as going up against the Josh Allen in the regular season. Like,
When
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers won his Super Bowl in 2010, he didn't have a ton of experience.
No.
but
Yeah,
are we
but Aaron
comparing
Rodgers
Drake May
had,
and
like-
Aaron Rodgers though? Like,
Well,
I think
yeah.
it's a little early for
Aaron
that.
Aaron Rodgers had the
Well,
defense.
Wait, hold
number
on,
2
hold on,
defense.
hold on. To walk the dog with Ken here, that Drake May is in MVP conversation. So it's not like he doesn't have an Aaron Rodgers type of trajectory where he caught fire initially. Because remember how everybody was talking about it after his playoff game against Arizona his second year, that this guy is legit that guy because of what he was able to do in the playoffs of his
Well, I
second
mean,
year.
Pat's defense is good, but I don't think they're number 2
Well, okay,
defense
then
like
let's
Green
make it
Bay
even
is.
better. Tom Brady, when he won his Super Bowl, his first one, when are you ready? You're ready when it happens, right? So I mean,
Yeah.
I always take that. Well, they're not Super Bowl ready. Well, what makes a team Super Bowl ready? Are they in the playoffs? Yeah. Well, then they're Super Bowl ready. If you're in
Yeah.
the playoffs, you're Super Bowl ready. Because guess what? The second you're in, you have a
But to
shot
the-
at you half the league is not Super Bowl ready. They're at home watching you on the couch during wild card weekend. The teams that are in wild card weekend are all Super Bowl ready because they all have a shot.
But to
again,
Joe's point,
Now
but
you're
to
in the
Joe's,
divisional round.
Mhm.
Do you have these teams that are left? These 8 teams left in total. They're all Super Bowl ready. They all have a 25% chance of getting to the game.
Oh yeah. Well, to Joe's point, yeah, I think that's what it is. Is Drake May, may be good this season, but I don't think he's going to outdo little Josh Allen. And they already met already in the season. Josh Allen kicked his ass, so
Well, Drake
well,
May
they're
kicked his ass
1-1.
before that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're 1-1.
yeah.
Mhm.
But yeah,
and
but
look, what gets even more, I wish that
you
would be
faced
the
them
game
later in
this
the season,
weekend.
though.
I wish that would be the game this weekend, though. But but no, it's not. It's Bills Broncos. So
That's gonna be a good one.
I would have been much better as a fan. Bills Pats would have been a phenomenal.
Well, give
to
me
have.
that for the for the AFC Championship.
Well,
Yeah,
I mean
hey,
that would
Joe.
be good too. But like you go out to the Seahawks. They get the Niners this week. I mean, I love it. A divisional game in the divisional
Mhm.
round. That's anyone's ball game, and people are going to say, "Well, yeah, but duct tape and bubble gum and the football gods keep taking players away from San Francisco." And I don't know if you saw the little funny cartoon on that, where CMC just grows stronger every time you take someone away. And he's like, "I'm the angel of death. Take someone else. I get stronger." It was hilarious, but it's like it seems to be true. All you need is a CMC, and you're good. Oh no, it was bench warmers. He did it. The bench warmer.
Joe-
He had a good video. So I mean,
Joe,
like anyone can win that game, right? I mean, who's Super Bowl ready in that game? I mean, if you look at it on paper,
Right.
everyone's like, "Oh, the Seahawks should dog walk them," but it's a divisional game.
Joe, close your ears, but Denver is going to be looking good for years.
Denver, as long as they can maintain their defense, I think, and I think me personally, I think Bo Nix needs to catch up to the defense. That defense really.
I can see some development in Bo though.
Yeah.
Like, I can see some development definitely. Sean Payton is definitely getting into his ear.
Mhm.
And you
Yep.
can see the development. You can see him make those throws, and then he can even roll out the pocket now more. I mean, he did so in Oregon, but like he's doing it more now on Denver, where he can roll out the pocket and find
But
receivers.
I'm not worried about Denver getting better or Kansas City getting better or LA getting better because we're already in a tough division. Like you're either going
Yeah.
to sink or swim in that division. So the Raiders are either going to be the whipped puppy in the division where everybody just kicks their ass all the time, or they're finally going to get better. So
Well, I mean, but
One of the two things is going to happen, man.
They'll
Like,
get better with Mendoza.
if you look
I
at the
hope
eight
so.
quarterbacks,
Mhm.
if you look at the 8 quarterbacks still in the game, right? Still in the playoffs. All 8 of them can win. Look at all 8 of them have shown you they can win, and they have a legitimate shot of being a Super Bowl winning quarterback. And they've all, even the only one who I kind of sometimes go is Ginger Jesus,
Yeah.
because he does still have some big meltdown game, or he has a meltdown game. I won't call it big, but he has a meltdown game where he'll throw you 5 picks, and then you got your defense needs to overcome. And Seattle's defense has been able to do that once or twice.
They're really good.
But even Darnold, man, there are games we watched this year where like him and Stafford were like, both their quarterback ratings were just astronomically stupid, right? Because they were both just going. Darnold can have those games where he can have you a damn near perfect passer rating. You know, he's a good quarterback. I mean, so are we saying like, well, is Darnold not Super Bowl ready? Yeah, he is. Caleb showed you he's Super Bowl ready last week with the way he came back, even beat you. I mean, all these quarterbacks are Super Bowl ready. They're in the dance. So I hate that argument that, well, a team's not Super Bowl ready. Well, you're in the divisional round. You're Super Bowl ready. You know, are you more Super Bowl ready than the team you're playing? Well, that's a debatable question. But when you go to San Francisco, Seattle, it's not even a question because it's a divisional game.
That's pretty crazy though. 3 teams from the NFC West are filling out the NFC, and then it's the Bears.
last year the NFC Championship game was the NFC East.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
Man,
You
for
know-
such a powerhouse our division's supposed to fucking be, it keeps
Black
coming.
blue.
It keeps coming down to NFC championships to freaking other conference or other divisions.
It's the
We just
black
can't
and
stay
blue.
healthy.
The black and
That's
blue.
what it is. We're beating the shit out of each other too much.
Like Steve's
Yeah.
like, oh, the Packers weren't ready. Well, no, the Packers were ready, but they had some injuries that kind of degraded them some. Like, I don't know, losing Micah Parsons might have had an impact on the end of their season. They
Yeah,
were
not,
Super Bowl.
not having a Tucker Craft definitely hurt a lot.
You know, I mean,
Yeah.
Joe.
We lost our
fact-
Brock Bowers.
No, we didn't. Brock Bowers is the greatest tight end ever.
ever. I mean, look,
Ever.
the NFC North is the black and blue division. We beat each other up. We
Glad
know
to
that.
see you guys coming around.
Mm-hmm.
It was a super competitive division. Only division, right? Only division in the league where all 4 teams had winning records. It's a hard division, man. Now look at the West gets 3 in this year. We get 2 in. Unfortunately, if you want to play the divisional game, you know, we had to face each other in round 1, and where there were 2, now there's 1, and the NFC West didn't have that. They had a situation where all 3 teams could get through, like the North did last year. But unlike the North last year, they didn't go one and done across the board.
Every
Could
time
Seattle
Brock,
be one and done? I think so. I think the Niners have an opportunity to knock off a divisional rival that they just saw 2 weeks ago.
every time Brock Bowers walks down the tunnel, they throw rose petals and spread patchouli oil everywhere.
Hey, I just look with that Niners game and Seahawks game, dude. Like, it's the thing that's interesting to me. It's like Ken, you were just talking about how every once in a while Darnold has one of those meltdown games, right? But this is the one game where I think Darnold could actually afford to have that meltdown and still come out on top. And I'll tell you why. Because Purdy has meltdown games every once in a while too, dude.
Yeah.
And the Seahawks defense is good enough to overcome some turnovers, but the Niners defense, I mean, they're like you said, they're held together with duct tape and bubble gum, dude. Like,
Well, he just
So if-
did have it, though, didn't he? Didn't he have a couple picks last week, and they overcame a not so great Purdy game?
yeah, but I mean, is he going to have another one? Like,
That's
the
the
defense he played last week is nowhere near the defense he's playing this week, in my
Does
opinion.
Purdy, I can't remember
Niners.
this year, Purdy having back-to-back bad games.
Yeah, Niners might get an upgrade. Fred Warner might make his debut. And
We've
you know
been
what
hearing-
Fred Warner does.
We've been
Yeah.
hearing that for a few weeks now.
Yeah, well, he's really ramping it up. Like he really if they can, he could possibly make his debut coming up.
I think if he comes in, it's definitely a shot of adrenaline for San Francisco that maybe could, you know, that shot of adrenaline might get them through the Seattle game. I don't know if it
Yeah.
gets them through an NFC Championship game, but it definitely has a shot to at least make that game close or give them the shot to win, a better shot to win. But it's a divisional game, dude. And that's the other wild card in discussing this game is, dude, it's a divisional game. All bets are off. I don't care if one's the best team in the league, the other's the worst. It's a divisional game. How many
Yeah.
teams? How many times even this season, last place in the division beats first place in the division?
Mhm.
It happens a lot.
Sea Chicken's got a big injury too. Witherspoon, he's out. You know what I mean? He's going to be out, I think, the whole, playoffs, even if the Seahawks advance. That's a big blow to them. He's been playing really well for them this year.
I just think I think for Warner to come back would be incredibly foolish, dude. Didn't he tear his ACL like early in the season and had surgery on it and everything? And it's like here we are, we're like 4 months, not even 4 months out from him tearing an ACL, and he's talking about going out there and playing. Like, I get it.
Skill times are getting faster and
I
faster.
get it, right? Like, I understand your team is on the verge of possibly going to a Super Bowl. If you're ever going to come back, now would be the time, right? Like, I get that part. But at the same time, you're going to risk permanent, possibly career-ending injury, like, to go out and try to, and you may not even help your team. You may be, he's not going to be 100%, even if he gets on the field. Like, I don't know, man. Like, I admire his courage and I admire his team spirit, but I just think you're taking an awfully big risk, man.
Yeah, Fred Warner's an alien.
Yeah. Dude, if there's anyone who could do it, it's Fred Warner. I'm not taking that away from him. I'm just saying. It doesn't make it any less of a risk, though, man.
What was Witherspoon's injury?
Oh, I forgot what it was, but like he's out. Let me look it up. But I just saw that he's out.
I think that's going to be an interesting game, more so just because the divisional game. Like, you can almost take all the talking head stuff and throw it out the window. It's anything goes. This is the divisional game. Divisional games are like that, man. They never go the way you think they're going to go ever. I mean, they just don't. It's going to be a good game in Seattle, and they were just there 2 weeks ago. Going to be interesting. That game's going to be, and then Bears Rams is going to be good. We'll get into that one more. The AFC games, I'm a little disappointed because I was really looking forward to like a Buffalo Patriots rematch, but Bills Broncos is going to be fun, and Texans Patriots will be interesting. Oh, look at this. Cold weather. Seattle never really gets cold weather, but it's not going to be great weather. That one, the weather is the least of a factor. But look at, you go Broncos, Bills, weather's not going to be a factor there, right? Both teams are used to bad weather. The Mile High piece might be the difference, right?
That's going to be a factor.
Yeah, the oxygen thing. But like the Texans going to the Pats, dome team, going to Boston outside in the elements, and LA to Chicago, that, once again, I think those games are going to could be affected more by weather. Even though the thing I hate when people say, "Oh, the Rams win to Chicago," the Rams are LA team. They don't. Stafford's spent his 12, 13 years in the NFC North. The weather's not as much of a factor to him or Devontae Adams. Like, they're good. Puka Nacua, okay, maybe he might get, this sucks. I don't know how much the weather affects the Rams because they got players that came out of the North and came out of cold weather places. And, but you look at the Texans where most of their guys are dome guys, have been dome guys. Like, okay. And I guess in the season, if you get used to, even if you're a guy who played in cold weather, but you've been playing in domes all year, that first game is always a shock to the system. We saw it that week this year, remember that first really bad weather week in the NFL? Everyone was sucking. Because that getting used to the bad weather thing happens, right? Like knocking the rust off. So it's going to be interesting to see how the weather affects all these games this weekend.
So, Witherspoon is dealing with the MCL bruise.
Ooh.
So, they said he's, did light practices, but it's not a given if he's going to go or not.
It's like Kyler Gordon. Kyle Gordon was 100% last week, but he's going to go. Why? Because it's the playoffs.
Yeah. You got to suck it up and be out there with your, you know, be out there with your guys at least.
And like it's injury time. And look at the Bears. We just got hit with two. We lost Trapio for the season and Edwards. And the only good news there is we lost Trapio, but no big deal, but no big deal because we got Theo Bennett, who started a lot of games this season, is a pretty good left tackle. His backup will be Braxton Jones, probably, who, oh, by the way, was a starter for 3 years. Okay. I'm okay with that. TJ Edwards being out for the Bears kind of sucks, but you know what? Our backup linebacking core, hell, our fifth string linebacker was the NFC Defensive Player of the Week just a couple weeks ago. So if you're going to get injured for the Bears, at least we have injuries where we had depth. Right?
The one good thing is, you know, Stafford has not been played well in cold games. You know, this could be a cold game, so
Yeah.
this could be a factor going in.
I think it is a factor, but it isn't a factor, like I was saying, because like Stafford's played a lot of cold weather games in Chicago and Green Bay in his career. But you're right, because how often does
His
he play
record's
in
not
those
good.
elements now? It's
Yeah.
kind of like still going to be that shock to the system. But like him and Devontae Adams specifically grew up in the NFC North.
Yeah.
Could it affect him initially? And could that be enough? Yeah, I agree with you, Isaac. It could. However, it depends how they practice. They practice in a nice, warm California sun or inside all week, and then have to play a game in shitty weather. I mean, I think it depends on their prep.
Yeah.
I don't want to hang my hat on that though, because that's just a bad thing to hang your hat on. I mean,
It's just his record. His record has not been good. Like his
no.
everything drops. Like his completion percentage, his rating, everything drops when he plays in the cold weather. So
And I
that,
know, and like, if you're the Bears, like we know Puka's gonna he's gonna get some balls, and we know that Devontae's gonna get some balls. It's just back to that bend, don't break. Okay, let him get down to 20 and force him to kick a field goal. The question, I think, more so is what's the Rams defense gonna do with this Bears offense?
yeah.
And which Bears offense are we getting? Are we getting the throw it to Colston Loveland and the wide receivers offense? Or are you getting the Bruise brothers? Are you getting the Bears running game? I mean, that's the thing that makes the Bears are I think of the offenses left. The Bears are one of the best offenses left in the playoffs right.
Yeah, Bears. I mean, Rams defense is not that good. I mean, like outside of Jared Verse and a couple other players, like they're not that good, really.
This is like the two best offenses in the NFC right now going at it this weekend.
Yeah.
So it's going to be, whose defense. And you know what irks me with the Bears defense this year? Last year, like a top 10 defense for the most of the year until Eberflus gets fired and the defense kind of fell apart. The personnel group's about the same. It's not much different. Why is this
Actually,
defense so?
I think Seattle is the number one NFC offense. Seattle's been they might have the number one offense in the NFL. Actually, they're scoring a lot.
Yeah,
I thought it was more their defense and their offense.
with JSN, they got
Yeah, I don't know if
wide
they're the
open
number
every
one
time.
offense, but we could look that up. But they're definitely.
I mean,
up there.
Charbonnet kind of gets some good runs, but you don't hear a lot about the running game. But yeah, I mean, their receiving core you hear a bit about.
Yeah, Jackson Smith-Njigba's having a crazy season.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
but
Walker's
I'm
not
not as
that bad.
afraid of their passing game. The Bears, we do okay on the passing game for the most part, but I think though, like quarterback wise, Stafford, and Darnold, even though Darnold has had some great games this year, Stafford's still more, Stafford. Look at, he's like Baker. He's one of the only quarterbacks to go look, and no matter what happens, Stafford could do some things himself. Like Stafford will do Stafford things. As we always say. Seattle is probably the most complete both sides of the ball football team left in the table.
That's the other thing about Seattle is their run defense. Their run defense is really good. Like if you look at the record of running backs running against Seattle, they barely crack 50 yards on them.
I'm gonna love if the Bears play them. If we get a Bears Seattle NFC Championship game, I think that's gonna be great because when we played the Eagles, that was the same story. But the Bears have right. Look at who'd be happy with what I'm about to say right now is Broski. The way the Bears rebuilt their trenches on the offensive line that offensive line, when it comes to the running game, manhandles people. I'm not. I think the Bears can establish the run on any team they want at this point. And that's due to what Foles did in the offseason with building that offensive line. I don't know if Seattle's hit an offensive line as good as Chicago's yet. I think the Bears could run on them. But the Bears are such a weird offense because even if you think you can stop the run, then they got this passing game, which all right, here's like 5 or 6 different targets we can throw out there. Go figure out which one it's going to be. I mean, they're going to be that's going to be an interesting matchup if we get there. I mean, first they got to get past the Niners. Dude, that's a divisional game.
Yeah.
No Kittle. I
I
mean,
know that's sad for Kittle. And it's funny because supposedly it is true that he drank a whole tequila bottle in the back, like after the injury. He's a crazy dude.
he's nuts. You gotta love Kittle.
Yeah, yeah.
You
Kittle's the
gotta love
man.
Kittle for
But
multitudes of reasons.
the guy can't stay healthy worth his shit. I mean, I mean, obviously because he's the number one blocking tight end. You know what I mean? Like he's putting out those blocks, and it's wear and tear on his body.
He's the
And
best tight end in football, I think, bar none. And why? Because he's the
mhm,
best blocker, but he also is a big play guy. Like
yeah,
he does it all. Like Bowers, dude, you're the only target in Vegas. You're really good, and even though you're the only target in Vegas, and everyone still knows you're the only target in Vegas, you're getting catches. So yeah, you're really good. Um, Colson Loveland, we see why you were the number 10 pick this year. We got it after
mhm,
this weekend. We understand how you can run routes like a receiver, and your blocking has been really good. Laporta, yeah, you're a big play guy, hard to bring down. I mean, you can go through all these tight ends, and like they're all
mhm.
good, but then there's Kittle, and Kittle's on an island of his own to me.
Yeah, Kittle's really good. Like, I mean, it was always between him and Travis Kelsey on the best tight end in the
Oh, for me,
league.
it's not even
You know.
close.
Oh no, I
Kelsey's not
mean
as good of
now.
a blocker as Kittle.
Oh yeah, yeah, because Kelsey now has fallen off, but I mean Kelsey, a couple years ago, he was the best tight end in the league, bar none. You couldn't. I mean, the guy's like this big and he can run routes like, seamlessly. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But yeah, this version of Kelsey, of course, he's taking a step back, but yeah, Kittle's just a monster out there, and he does a lot for the Niners, so they're gonna miss him, but for some reason they got the duct tape and still keep on rolling.
Tell
They're
you,
like cockroaches.
this to me, this Niners game is going to be so much fun. This is
Mm,
the divisional game in Seattle, which it's ironic that Seattle's worse at home than they are on the road, which is ironic. I mean, not much worse, but still, they were a better road team than a home team. It's a divisional game. The Niners are so in this.
yeah,
It, if you think about it, the Niners, yeah, Kittle plays a little, then gets hurt, but they still won a lot of games without Kittle this year.
yeah.
They're
Like
used to this.
the
They're used to
Niners are almost like I mean they're not exactly like them, but almost like the Chiefs. Every time you count them out, they just show up and they keep on trucking. You know what I mean? Like it's an unbelievable job by Shanahan what he did this year with that team. You know.
So, I mean, week one, the playoffs, man, what a week. And look at none of the head coaches so far that we thought might get fired if they lose have gotten fired. We haven't got an
Mm,
announcement that Tomlin's been fired today. No, instead we get an announcement that Rodgers and the Steelers are kind of like both interested in him coming back for another year. So that to
yeah.
me will sound like Tomlin might be staying. Um, the Eagles still have their head coach. Sirianni didn't get fired. Okay. And now they're talking they're going to extend LaFleur. So the three
Mm.
playoff coaches we thought might be on the hot seat if they lost, all lost. And it looks like they're all going to retain their jobs.
I think it's a good move by all the organizations. Like Tomlin, I know he got the firing chance by the Steelers fans, but look at the guy. He doesn't have a losing season. You know what I mean? And he's probably one of the most winningest coaches in your history. I mean, not Super Bowl wise, but at
I
least
think he does
winning
one more
history
and he's done.
wise. Yeah.
I think, he does one more and he's done. Him and
Mm,
Rodgers right off in the sunset, so to speak. For
yeah.
LaFleur, I mean, he'll get the extension, but I think his seat is warm next year, at least warm. If you guys drop the third place or something and miss the playoffs, I think he might be gone.
Yeah.
If you guys get in the playoffs, my question with LaFleur is, how long can he go in Green Bay without getting to an NFC Championship game and keep that job?
I think honestly, we hire an OC. Like we either fire or demote Stenovich, and I would hate for Stenovich to go because he's the reason why our offensive lines are so
And
good.
you might need a DC,
Yeah.
so there's going to be some
Yeah.
adjustment there.
Yeah.
The Bears, I think most of our coaching staff, if not all of it, will come back next year, so we're lucky. Detroit's going to be needing some coaching staff. The Vikings may need a DC. It's questionable because he's not under contract, but his stuff with the NFL is not done. So maybe he signs an extension, stays for another year or two. I don't know. We're gonna get some interesting coaching stuff that's going on. And look, we still got to talk about the coaches because some of that's going to is happening right now. Harbaugh's already, some of these guys are interviewing. We could see a hiring as soon as this week.
Yeah. And the rumors are from the Bears too. Like some teams are calling about your assistants to
They're
try
calling
to poach
about
them.
our assistant GM is once again being interviewed for a GM spot. Cunningham for the third year in a row, they're looking at him. Some of the lower assistants, you're right, not like like some of the other
like your Lions coach and all that type of
Right.
stuff. Yeah, they're looking for those guys.
Oh, right, but none of them are taking interviews right now because the Bears are still in, and Ben Johnson put out no interviews while we're in it. We don't have the bye week, so
Yeah.
that will hamper their chances, which is good for the Bears, bad for the coach, maybe good for the team. But I don't think the coach minds if they win a Super Bowl out of it. You know what I mean?
Hey, you know what I heard too is the rumor is it's the Detroit Lions that are calling about some of those assistants. Like they lost those assistants to you guys, and now they're calling them back. It's funny.
It's Detroit's going to be interesting to watch, see what their coaching situation is in the offseason. Vikings a little bit. You guys for sure with Halfley.
Detroit has Mike McDaniel right now interviewing for OC.
Well, he's interviewing for OCs and head coaching positions. So
I'm saying he's in Detroit right now.
Yeah, but I mean, he's also been to Atlanta.
Yeah,
is looking at him as the head coach. I mean, I think he ends up more of a head coach than an OC, possibly. Dable is getting head coaching offers, or not offers, but interviews. So I think maybe I don't know who's the first. We got like a minute left. Who do you guys think is the first unemployed coach right now, or who's the first head coach hire? Is it Harbaugh, and then everything else falls in place?
Yeah, I think Harbaugh, and then I'm really hearing like a lot of steam is picking up, or Raiders are going to get Flores.
I haven't
Joe, what have you
heard
heard about that?
Actually, I've been reading that the Raiders interviewed Davis Webb, and they were very impressed with his interview. Like they were very surprised actually at how well he interviewed, and so they're looking at a second interview with him. And that's one candidate. They're also interested in Kubiak, but like they were very impressed with Davis Webb from what I read, and it's they're going to give him another. And I'm intrigued by that. Like I there's an outside chance too, because Kingsbury is out there too, that Kingsbury and Davis Webb could end up on the same staff.
Let me just give you the Titans really quick. The people they've got interviewed or have scheduled an interview. Lou Anarmo, defensive coordinator for the Colts. Anthony Campanile, coordinator for the Jags. The coordinator for the Jags. Dable. Marcus Freeman, head coach of Notre Dame, of course, but he's staying at Notre Dame. Jonathan Gannon, Jason Garrett, Jeff Halfley, John Harbaugh, Vance Joseph, Cliff Kingsbury, Clint Kubiak, Mike McCarthy, Mike McCoy, Mike McDaniel, Jesse Minter, Raheem Morris, Matt Nagy, Robert Saleh, Steve Sarkisian from Texas.
Chris
Shula, Arthur Smith, Steve Spagnuolo, and Kevin Stefanski. I mean, dude, that's the list of pretty much everyone. I mean, there's
I
some
read-
names out there right now.
Yeah, I read in the media it's possible Harbaugh goes to the Dolphins as Stefanski goes to the Ravens.
Gonna be interesting, guys. Guys, we're out of time. We got like 2 seconds left. JB's next. Thanks for joining us this morning. Ken's getting a new roof. He'll be on tomorrow. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a great day. Thanks, guys.
Go.